Hi, my name is Kolbie. I am completing the University Success class online, and this is my final oral presentation. I learned a vast amount of information in this class. This is my first class since starting Fresno Pacific and starting college over again. I was grateful for this class. It taught me many things about what to expect in college, how to succeed, and how to manage all of my life and everything a little bit better. Three positive things that really stuck out to me was the first one was the very first form devotion that we had, and that was the butterfly circus. The question was, how is Mr. Mendez the ringleader? How could he be a part of your life? At first I thought, what everybody else was writing, like, oh, he could represent God and how God works in our life, and he loves us no matter what we did wrong, he always still accepts us and forgives us and loves us, and then I kind of thought about it a little bit more, and I thought Mr. Mendez could also represent a parent in our life, a significant adult that has been in our life, such as like a teacher, and that's really my hope as I finish school and begin my teaching career, that one day, I might have a student that comes back to me and says, as hard as a student I was, as much trouble as I gave you, you always stuck with me, and you pushed me through. So that was one really positive thing that really stuck out to me. A second positive thing that really stuck out to me was the Smarter Measures assessment. I really thought that that was a great assessment for us to have, just for the fact that, it showed us what kind of learner we were. I'm an auditory learner and a visual learner. They have a lot of similarities, and both are great learners to be, learning styles to have when you're taking online classes. The third thing that really stuck out to me was all of the tutorials. I really appreciated all the tutorials. When you very first open up your student page and all the tiles that are on there, it can be a little bit overwhelming. You don't really know which each one is, how to navigate through them. The library can be a little bit tricky until you figure out how it works. I just really appreciated all the tutorials that we had. I liked all the APA ones that showed us how APA formatting works, the different websites we could use for citations. I think all of that will really help me succeed in college more. In our textbook, I really enjoyed our textbook. I felt like it was almost a self-help book, and there was certain parts that I was reading and I'd be like, wow, they're really speaking to me. They really know how I am. So I took 3 major skills out of that book that I know that I need to improve on. The first one will be time management. That is a very hard concept for me because I tend to take on more than I can actually finish in one day. So they gave 4 steps to finish or to succeed in time management: prioritization, categorization, chronological, and placement of your activities. I feel like all of that really goes together. I've started making a list at the beginning of my days, kind of what needs to get done in that day, what needs to be done by a certain time. And if I can fit it into that day, I can take it off of that list and put it onto my day. Another part of time management that is hard for me is procrastination, because when I do see it on my separate list of, well, that's not really due till March 1st, I kind of keep putting it off till like the end of February. And then if something comes up, I'm not able to complete that task, which, I've learned that is not always the smart thing to do. So I am working on, not procrastinating so much on different things and trying to get them done before. The second skill that I will be working on is class skills. I really would like to be a better listener and a better note taker, especially when watching the tutorials or watching the videos. Sometimes I get so, just like what's going on in the story, I want to see what happens next, that I forget what they're actually telling me, or I just stop taking notes altogether. I have been implementing a new note-taking system. I was always used to doing the outlining, and so now I'm going to start mind mapping just a little bit more, because I think that that will help keep my attention just a little bit longer, because mind mapping, to me, I kind of compare it to doodling, because I am able to draw a little bit more and write a little bit more. The second skill that I will be working on is help and support. That is a very big one for me. I do have a hard time asking for help and support, especially when it comes to my family. Not with school as much, but with my kids and everything else. That is a hard concept for me. I've always been mom. I take care of it. You know, I take care of the kids. I make sure everybody gets point A to point B. I make arrangements for them, make sure all their projects are done. And I've learned that I need to start delegating that out just a little bit more to be able to be more successful in school. I really enjoyed this class. I'm sure that there will be more things that I need to be successful on in school, and more things that I do have to work on as I go into school. I do plan on keeping the textbook, because I think it will be a great resource to look back onto and see what else I can improve on. Thank you very much. The strategy that was used for this was the information strategy.